One time I held my poop in and I thought I was going to die. 'Twas about 5 years ago in college and I was just finishing Spanish class. I could feel the urge to poop, but I didn't want to go on campus because that's icky, and public bathrooms are the epitome of a germ hydrogen bomb just ready to explode. If you lay your butt cheeks on the toilet of a public restroom, you might as well just take a bath in a sewer. Both would yield the same results. So I held my poop in because I figured I could drive back home in time for me to poop with no harm being done. I finished class and got into my car, and keep in mind this was winter, so there was snow everywhere on the streets and on the highways. I ventured my way on the highway and made my way home, which was about a 45-minute drive, maybe even an hour depending on traffic, and also because people drive slower in the winter to be careful about icy roads. All was going well until all of a sudden I got my first white flash. If you don't know what a white flash is, it's the phenomenon that I call when you're so constipated that you feel like you're hallucinating and you start to see colors. I could feel some sinister shit going on in my butthole, and my life was starting to flash before my eyes, sort of like a foreshadowing of my upcoming death if I don't excrete this poop out of me immediately. I started to panic because I knew at this point in time I was a ticking shit IED, and I have previous experience of the terrible RNG where I had to take a shit, but I couldn't because there's no bathroom. In fact, I was like a self-aware physician, self-diagnosing myself, and I was listing each symptom I would experience next. I was like an anime character that the author purposely gives them full knowledge about everything in order to narrate the scene for the audience. I was the speed wagon of constipation. I was relaying all the pain and anguish I was feeling from holding in my poop to myself out loud. About a quarter of the way home, my prediction came true. My next symptom of this shit-holding illness arrived, the cold sweats. Similar to meat sweats where you eat so much meat that your body is melting due to the amount of protein you just ate, cold sweats are just as deadly. I couldn't even look myself in the mirror because I was too focused on driving, but if I did look, I would have been pale white. I would have looked like a poltergeist covered in semen. I had to focus on driving in order to not crash, and I was getting concerned that the rumbling in my stomach would cause me to lose focus on the road and I would crash. My stomach and butthole were rumbling with more tectonic force than the colossal titans controlled by Eren Yeager. Halfway in my desperate endeavor to reach the promised land that is my toilet at home, I developed the peekaboo constipationitis. Peekaboo constipationitis is when your poop begins to play peekaboo with your butthole, but also your intestines as well. In a waxing and waning movement, the poop will engage in butthole ejection, and anywhere from 15 to 1 minute, it will recoil back into one's body. This is the critical point of constipation that made me question whether I should keep driving or if I should pull over and just shit on the side of the road and say fuck it. I spent the next 20 minutes constantly at war with my own butthole, experiencing never-ending bombardments of white flashes, peekaboo poop shenanigans, and cold sweats. I was so close to shitting myself, I felt like poop was getting more durable and powerful each second, like it was profiting and increasing its mana from being held in for so long. I started to go crazy and talk to myself, except I increased my dictation speed like I was speedrunning an essay. I kept telling myself, I'm not gonna poop, I'm not gonna poop, you're not gonna poop, why would I poop? 5 minutes away from my house, I genuinely thought I was going to die. My poop's diameter increased trifold over the past 45 minutes, and its girth was immaculate. The only thing on my mind was what my family was going to write for my obituary. I was so upset because I was so certain that I was going to die from holding in my poop, and it would be so embarrassing to die from that. I just imagined an ambulance coming along and then pulling my flaccid body after I passed away, only to realize that there was literally shit oozing out of my stinker. They would have touched my skin and concluded that I was dead for weeks with how cold my core temperature was from the cold sweats. And maybe I was dumped out in the snow or like in a river with how much sweat my body contained. But somehow, some way, I made it home to my toilet. I cannot even recall most of the 5 minutes driving up to my house because it's all a blur. The poop within me released out of my body the exact frame I sat down on the toilet. I don't think I've ever sprinted that hard in my life. My sprint from the minute I parked my car to my toilet was probably the fastest sprint of all time. You could not get any faster than what I accomplished on that day. And it was one of the best shits I've ever felt in my life. It was literally a life-saving shit. My magnum opus is not me beating some cool record or creating a cool YouTube video. It was taking a poop after holding it for an hour